Hello y'all and welcome back. Sorry about that, got cut off at the end of the last video. I guess my camera just decided this guy's talked for long enough. But as I was saying, what kind of pleasure should you be pursuing? Well, the answer is, as opposed to kinetic pleasure, those big physical pleasures, the Epicureans say that you should be pursuing what they call katastematic pleasure. Katastematic pleasure. This comes from two Greek words, kata and stema. Kata means with, and stema means state. We have this in our English word system, a systema. In other words, you enjoy a particular experience, a particular pleasure where you're with a state. What does this mean? They say that just existing as the kind of thing you are, a healthy, well-functioning human being, not experiencing any pleasures, not experiencing any big pains, with your mind directed away from things that worry and concern you, and either to some small pleasure or to nothing, I say that state, they say, has what they call a hedonic cast. In other words, it's inherently pleasurable. So, in other words, just existing in a neutral state is itself pleasant. And they say you can cultivate yourself through this sort of meditative training to enter that state. And this is not some sort of trance, right? But it is, as I say, meditative. To enter that state absolutely anywhere. Now, what do we already know about this pleasure? We already know that it's not going to have any of the three drawbacks of the big physical pleasure. So, it's not going to be accompanied by a crash. It's going to be very easy to get, possibly effortless to get. And it's not going to be mixed with pain. They say, so how do you achieve this? Well, with your mind freed of worry and anxiety, you direct your mind towards either nothing or some small pleasure, and you can just enter this state, enjoy existing just as the kind of thing you are, and you can enter this state absolutely anywhere for free, and since you don't have to get high to get there, there's going to be no crash. You just open your eyes and kind of come back to the real world. Now you say, okay, it's nice to say, with your mind freed of all worry and anxiety, but one does not simply just stop worrying. How do you do this? They say, well, through philosophy. Through philosophy, you can rid your mind of the biggest things that people worry about. You say, what are these things? Well, here you go. People worry about God and the gods, at least in the ancient world they did. People worry about death. People worry that they will not be able to endure the difficult things that life throws at them. And people worry that they will somehow miss out on good things in life or miss out on the best things in life. And the Epicureans say philosophy, not just any philosophy, but Epicurean philosophy now, is able to disarm those worries fairly easily. Let's start with God. They say God is, by definition, a perfectly blessed being. Now, this means that God can do whatever God wants to do, go wherever, have whatever power, enjoy whatever pleasure. And if you were a perfectly blessed being, let me ask you, could do anything you want, have any power you want, would you really spend all day long leaning over the guardrail of heaven, looking down, waiting to hit smite if somebody did something morally bad? Now, as soon as I ask that, I realize I know people that would probably say yes to that question. But for the majority of us, no, right? We'd be enjoying our life. We'd be on a beach with a beverage. We'd be enjoying the powers of Thor or Superman or whatever it is, right? In other words, we wouldn't be meddling with the affairs of ordinary, dirty mortals, rather. Right? They say the gods don't care about you because they're too busy enjoying their lives. Why are they enjoying their lives? Because they're gods. Don't worry about them. They don't care about you, but that's a good thing. You don't have to fear God. You don't have to be making sacrifices, saying prayers. Don't worry about God. Rule number 1, don't fear God. Rule number 2, death is nothing. The Epicureans say, what's your favorite memory from before you were born? What are your top 5 memories, right? Silly question. Obviously, you don't have any memories from before you were born. You weren't there to have experiences. They say, well, in like manner, you're not going to be there after you die. Your death is just the physical particles that make you up dissolving, right, entering into this state of dissolution so that there is no you anymore. So you won't have experiences after you die. Why are you so worried about what happens after you die? You're not going to be there, right? So death is nothing, not only in the sense of nothing to worry about, but also just literally nothing, like there's nothing there. It's you're there, and then you're gone. Don't fear God. Death is nothing. Rule number 3. What is bad is easy to endure. Now, logically, if pleasure is the only good, hedonism, pain is the only bad. And they say there's a funny feature of pain. Pain is either intense, but in that case it doesn't last very long. You pass out or you get some drug to ease the pain, or worst case, you just die. Or it does last a long time, but in that case it's not very intense. They say, so either you break a bone, in which case you pass out, or somebody kind of gives you some medication, or you get put on hold with AT&T customer service for 2 hours. It's a terrible way to spend your morning, but let's face it, that's not that intensive a pain. Now, you say, well, what if somebody's stuck in a dungeon, some far-off mountainous dictator's lair, and being tortured for 8 hours a day? In that case, pain is really intense, and it lasts a long time. The Epicurean response to this is, fine, it sucks to be that guy, but I'm not talking about that guy. We're talking about how to help 99.999% of human beings face 99.999% of the pains and problems and anxieties and worries that they will in fact face. Trying to help you have a good life. They say that's what we're doing here. So objection taken, but doesn't really affect the point we're trying to make. So keep in mind as you're facing pain that it's not going to last a long time if it's strong, or if it does last a long time, it's light. Matter of fact, they have a little rhyming saying to help you remember this. Light if it's long, short if it's strong. Si longa levis, si gravis brevis in Latin. Rule number 4, Epicurean principle number 4, what is good is easy to get. Now we've already seen this. What is good? Pleasure. What's the best pleasure? Katastematic pleasure. Do you need to save up for a long time to have it? No. Do you need to get high to have it? No. Do you have to have a life of unbroken good fortune or a rigorous course of study to have it? No. You enter this peaceful meditative state just by directing your mind away from things that worry you, towards things that bring you joy, towards things that make you happy, or towards nothing at all. And again, you can do this wherever you are for free. What is good, the very best and highest pleasure, is effortless to get, right? You can get it right now, watching this video. You're saying this video is going a little bit long, a little bit boring. That's fine. Close your eyes, go to your happy place, and start breathing deeply. There you go. You can't crash from that. You don't have to pay any money to enter it, right? And it is absolutely and totally unmixed with pain. There's no pain there. So that's Epicureanism, a simple life philosophy, grounded in simplicity, grounded indeed in stopping all the incessant rational thinking that the other philosophers argue that you should be engaged in. Give your mind a break. Don't think, feel, follow your senses. Pleasure is the good. The very best pleasures are not the big physical pleasures, but katastematic pleasure, which you can get absolutely free, anywhere you are, crash-free and unmixed with pain. Now, the next school that we're going to look at rejects this. They reject Stoicism. So join me next time as we investigate the Pyrrhonian skeptics. Thanks.